I've known him a long time. Randy Credico.
That reminds me, when you go into one of these parades on Fifth Avenue, like the Pride Parade, when you walk by, there's somebody up there. The guy coming by now, Randy Credico, used to be with the William Concert Fund. He's running for office. Give a big round of applause. So why don't you get that gig next year, Pete?
I will.
All right?
I will. You get it from
I don't even see. Have you performed yet? Have you and Kat performed?
We have. You're it, man. You're it.
I'm the closer. I've been in this neighborhood for a couple of hours. You said it was starting at 7:30. But at any rate, I've been putting these on cars all day. That's what I've been doing. All right? Wanted Randy Credico for governor next Tuesday. Gee, look, I'm sweating. I've been doing this since like 6 in the morning. Let me tell you my day. I just did an hour on WBAI. I got up, started passing flyers out by City Hall. Then I did about 9 radio shows, and the next thing I was in the West Village, passing out flyers there. 1 out of 10 people, they just walk by you. It's easier to like bum money than it is to give out flyers. If I had been asking for quarters, I could retire today, because you can actually get a response. I'm a bust-out politician, folks. Can you please help me pay for my campaign debts? As you can see, I'm still sweating. It's very hot out there, and it's September. And,
Did you bring flyers for us?
no, because none of you vote, so why would I do that? These flyers are, no, I'm taking these to Pennsylvania tomorrow. Because I got an anti-fracking ad coming out for Pennsylvania. I got a pro-fracking ad for the Southern Tier. That I'm going to go in the Southern Tier and say we need to frack to create jobs. And I've got a anti-gun law poster for down here. And then for Syracuse, I got a pro Second Amendment. Pro, I got everything. I'm shameless now. The only way I can win is to come up with like different shit for different areas. All right? So I'm going to be pro-drug in the West Village and anti-drug in Ozone Park. I'm for stop and frisk out there in Bensonhurst. I'm against it here. No, I'm kidding. I was on Democracy Now! Yesterday. Anybody see that? Democracy Now! It's always good when the issue like moves to Israel in New York. It's always like an easy question to answer. What is your position on either staying in the race or getting blown out by being pro-Israel for the former and then pro-Palestinian for the latter? Which one, Credico? Where do you stand? Do you do a Bill de Blasio and change your name from, like, he had the same name, like, it's like Bill Hitler almost. His real name is Wilhelm. All right, like the Kaiser. Fucking Kaiser Wilhelm. And he's got his name as de Blasio now. Now, who believes, when was the last time you saw a 7'6" Italian on the planet? All right? Bigfoot, maybe. Bigfoot is claiming that he's Italian. You go there to the Northwest and Bigfoot says, my real name is Nunzio. De Blasio, an Italian. Yeah, he went over there to Italy and ate Italian food, pizza, like Germans do, with a fork. And some knockwurst. Give me some knockwurst. No salami, I want knockwurst on that pizza. A lot of knockwurst, and, yes, that would be great. All right, some sauerkraut on that pizza. His father was a war hero, man. He was a war hero. It's like Michael Corleone. He's a war hero. I don't care. I don't want his name anymore. I don't want his name anymore, okay? Jews are not going to vote for Wilhelm in this city. Let's be honest. I have ambitions. My father would understand that I have ambitions. I'm self-involved. I don't care if my father lost his leg fighting against the Nazis, and I never donned a uniform. I never did participate in the armed forces. I know my father lost a leg fighting Nazis, but I'm thinking about Bill de Blasio, which is my name, de Blasio. Turns out that his grandmother happened to immigrate from Hamburg in 1876. So he's got Nazis on both sides of the fence. Italian, my fucking ass, Bill de Blasio. And the Germans coming out. Yeah, stop and frisk everybody. We got cameras everywhere. I mean, seriously, really. Everything. Got cameras everywhere in this city, arresting people. I got arrested for filming the police. As if he runs the city. You know who runs the city? Is Bratton and this fucking psycho, Pat Lynch. The guy from the PB. Ever seen this guy on? The guy, it wasn't a chokehold. He was trying to handcuff him. That was what he was trying to do. Handcuff his neck. He was trying to handcuff his neck. He didn't have any handcuffs, so he used his fucking arm. And I can't believe this poor officer that he killed this guy is being... This guy's a saint, and he's being prosecuted. He's being destroyed by all these Negroes out there. Fucking guy, I tell you, Pat Lynch, what a sick motherfucker he is, man. Seriously. And no, look, if I were the owner of this place, I'd never have me working here because the place would be infiltrated with police upstairs and downstairs. That fucker who called Pat Lynch a psycho, they'd be like busting you for this light being on too long. That's a violation of the cabaret laws.
Live here, you're going out on the internet right now.
Who gives a shit, man? Life is very short. You guy is a psycho, Pat Lynch. Have you seen the guy? They shot the guy in the head from behind. But, who knew that his head, they thought it was a hard fucking head. They thought the bullet would bounce off his head. They're up there. The guy was selling marijuana. He went up there and shot him in the head. He thought it was just going to bounce off. Who the fuck knew it was going to go through his fucking brain? Sick guy. Much better when I ad-lib than I come up with prepared shit, man. None of this stuff was about to... this is all free form. You know that. I'll never be able to come up with this material again, so I hope it is being taped by the NYPD.
I heard actually that he's a product of what they call plastic surgery. He was put together from two Sicilians.
Who's that? Pat Lynch. He's got a football on top of his head masquerading as hair. Have you seen that thing on his head? He walks around with a medicine ball on his head. De Blasio.
Yeah.
Hi. He just likes everybody. What he is a big Marty Markowitz. He likes to shake hands. He likes to blow up balloons. That fucker should be the maitre d' at a Chuck E. Cheese in Staten Island. All right? Seriously. That's about all he's good for. He can't come up with any... Look, he's there for 3 more years. He likes to shake hands. Right in the middle of a guy getting killed, chokehold, he goes to Italy to try to pretend like he's Italian. Again. But, he couldn't pass... Let's see him go to the Sam Giancana, the Feast of Sam Giancana over there in Little Italy. See how well he gets by. They'll shove a bunch of fucking Italian sausage up that big fat ass of his, all right? Fucking Italian. I'm so sick of this guy. I'm Italian. I speak a few. Ciao. Ciao bello. How do I say it? Ciao bello. Give me another slice of that sauerkraut, would you please? What a fucking snake he is, man. And I ran against the guy. I was against the war, you know that. Don't be please. I had a meeting with him out there in Brooklyn. He says, look, man, I'm the anti-war guy. I said, let me see, do you think the police are keeping files on people, Bill? This is like 4 months before the ad with the hair came out. You think he was running dead fucking last and he pulled a Seabiscuit because his drug-addicted kids came out there and flacked for him. That's the reason why 2 drug addicts, if they belong. The police have a new memo out there. Don't fuck around with any drug users with the last name of de Blasio, all right? But every other Negro, you do it, all right? That's straight from, I'm using the Negro. I know what they're really saying up there. They're using the Nigger, which when I got arrested, I've never heard that word. I was with a room full of what was the name of that guy? Mark Furmans. When I was arrested a couple of weeks back, filming the police up there in wherever it was. It was 242nd Street. Van Cortlandt. I was going out there to meet this reporter, and I got in the train. That's right, I do go off on different tangents, but you going to go to a comedy club and get this kind of shit tonight? Nobody's going to talk like this in any of these hack comedy clubs, all right? They're all a bunch of hacks. It'll be the Comedy Cellar. I can't work these clubs. They're for kids from Long Island with their hats on backwards. I'm an adult, you're an adult. If you like that kind of shit, go over there and have your insult and your intelligence insulted by these hack comics. Let me just say, I go up there to meet a guy by the name of Phil Reisman, very famous writer. It's about 3 weeks ago, and I get on the one train. I had a couple of glasses of wine, and I got on the one train. They were going to pick me up there at 242nd, no, at Van Cortlandt. So I get off the train, I see 3 white dudes, actually one was Dominican, without any badges. Without a badge. They're not, and there's a black dude who really, 3 cops making $200 an hour each. They got this big perp. He had gone from car 2433 to car 2434 while in transit. Now, we are all worried about people like that. The whole fucking city, if they had seen this on tape, wanted that guy to get the fuck out of town or go to Sing Sing. Anyone that would have the balls to go from one of these hot cars with air conditioning's off and go, I can't take this anymore, I'm 75, I'm going to go to this car, and then 3 cops converge on this guy. I know we were worried about him. That must have been a major crime, him to go through it while it was moving. In the age of 9/11, that's the most important shit going on right now. So I see this happening, and I start videotaping it. And I start taking pictures. The guys don't have their badges out. That's against the law. They're supposed to have their badges out. Then these guys start videotaping me. Then one guy gets in my face and says, you better move, and takes out his badge. I said, move where? I can do this. He says, you're going to have to get back. I said, what is it, man? You got a 1-inch dick? You think... I said, what is it? That was no reason to arrest me and put handcuffs on as tight as the OJ gloves were, all right? They were tighter than those gloves. They don't fit. Those fucking handcuffs did not fit either. They fit a 3-year-old anorexic. That's, those were so, I still can't move my right fucking thumb, all right? That's what they did to me. It took me to the, and they were having a lot of fun. These guys were major cops. They took me to, they were transit cops, all like, they're 25 years old. And they take me down to Grand, what is it? It's called Grand Concourse. It's Bronx Central Booking. But en route, they're going like really fast and then hit the fucking brakes. They know I'm a guy running for governor. They already looked at all my videos. 5 hours I waited in the holding cell. 5 hours I waited there while all these assholes came in undercover, like Kojaks and Columbos. These guys, detectives. They can't even spell fucking forensics, and they're called detectives, these guys. You spend 2 weeks putting Negroes in jail, you can become a detective too. That's the fucking threshold. And that's what goes on. Anyone that works at Legal Aid will tell you what goes on in every one of these bailiwicks here. It's the same shit. Soft coal, you know, looks good, but it burns, it stinks, and that's what they're doing in all of these different, all these different courthouses in this city, whether it be Queens with this guy, this midget by the name of fucking Dick Brown. We represent municipality, the district attorney, the district. The fucking guy was in The Wizard of Oz. Dick Brown has got a wig the size of Manhattan. You ever seen this thing? That's why he walks around with a bad back. But who knows this? It's so esoteric, you're not going to hear about Dick Brown at one of these comedy clubs. All right? Dickhead Brown. Anybody know who he is? That's why he gets reelected. Nobody knows who he is. He thinks he got a mandate because 400 white people from Ozone Park and 200 from Regal Park voted for him, and another 700,000 people didn't know there was an election that day. The election will take place for the Queens District Attorney at 1 a.m. It'll be over at 2 a.m. Please have ID if you want to vote. And if you're black, it's going to be like trying to get into a nightclub, a strip joint, all right? In Midtown Manhattan. All right, what else you got? Here's my Navy ID. What else you got? I got my Social Security. What else you got? I got driver's license, passport. Not enough. Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, ended up there in Bronx Central Booking. I get there. The only thing to eat were the fucking roaches on the floor, which were a lot more appetizing than these 2 pieces of bread with like a dollop of fucking peanut butter, which is not even Jiffy. It's watered down fucking Jiffy is what it is. All right, they get it. And the correction officers are all this big. They're black. They hate being there. You're the guy running for governor. You got to talk about, we're in the same conditions as these motherfuckers in here, man. Look at the filth. There's the toilet. Oh, Jesus Christ. So you're sitting in, this is the size of the room right here. This is it. This is it. I'm back. Geez, they transported my fucking cell here. So this is, they had 3 this way, 3 across, and they had 30 people in the cell at all times, and your head's against the bars, and there's a phone over here, and, you know, for a while, afterward, when it's over, you say, Jesus Christ, now I'm glad I got the knowledge of what it's like going through this process, what all these kids go through, what Mr. Hemmings went through from Jamaica, 76 years old, who was standing next to a guy who smoked a joint. He was there. He was half my size. He weighed 80 pounds. He was there for 28 hours because the cops needed another fucking minnow to get their overtime. They just decided, all right, we got enough now. That's what they're pulling in. Jaywalkers, trespassers, pot smokers, guys who drink on their stoops, guys who don't drink on their stoops, that may have drunk on their stoops. Anything they round up. It's Casablanca. Round up the usual suspects. And that's what's inside these jails in the city that nobody knows about. I know about it. I got the knowledge, but it's like making sausage. All right? Our laws, as Bismarck said, one of de Blasio's favorite historical figures, Bismarck. All right? Probably a distant cousin. Right? So I call him Rip Van Wilhelm because the fucker sleeps most of the time, and he's German. Rip Van, and most Germans are industrious. This fucker is the only lazy fucking German on the planet. So we call him Rip Van Wilhelm, who's asleep most of the time. Just like Rip Van Winkle, 100 fucking hours a day he sleeps, all right? I worked 3 hours this week, let's go to Italy so I can sleep over there. So he doesn't know what's going on. He can't change all of that. He wants to cut some ribbons and talk about some affordable housing that's never going to happen. Okay? He lied to everybody. They got, he's the German Obama. Okay? Everyone thought after Bush we'd have a soft landing with Obama. Well, they got fooled. And everyone thought after Bloomberg and Giuliani you'd have a soft landing with this German guy by the name of Rip Van Wilhelm, and it's not. It's the same shit goes on. Still the cabaret laws. You can't dance in here. We'd all go to fucking jail for 20 years for dancing in this little room here. You can't have fun in this city. You can't smoke a joint on the street. What is this, man? 2014. You can't smoke a joint on the street. I do, but they won't arrest me. So getting out of that place took a long time. I'm glad I was there. And then New York won. I called them up. Oh, Mr. Credico, we'd like to interview you. So now they interview me, and then they go to the scene of the crime, Van Cortlandt, where I was charged with 4 counts of menacing the police because it was raining that day with an umbrella. So I'm videotaping them with an umbrella, and I get four counts of menacing. There's 3 guys. I don't know who the 4th fucker, man, was. Invisible Man Claude Rains was there undercover as well. All right? So I get charged with that. I get charged with that as well. So, menacing the fucking police. Who the fuck am I? The fucking Joker or something, man? Huh? Seriously, from Batman? I'm Mary Poppins. I got a sweet side to me. I'm not the fucking here. I'm going to go against guys who are trigger happy with Glocks, with a fucking umbrella. If I had brandished an umbrella, I would have had more shots in my body than Amadou Diallo, all right? These guys are just looking for someone to execute. So, the next day, calling up Margaret Kunstler, Bill Kunstler, you got to get me out of here. I've done 18, how do these guys do it all the time? 18 hours. 18 hours, and it got to be 22 hours. You'll be getting out soon. And what happened is that the district attorney, she spoke to the attorney, the police are deliberately slowing down the paperwork because they don't like you, and it probably has something to do with the fact that you mentioned the size of the guy's dick. All right? I'm sure they had a lot to do with it. You don't say it to a guy. They don't expect it. If I were black, I wouldn't be here tonight. I would be out there with Eric Garner for calling the guy a short dick guy. All right? Because they don't tolerate it. The fact that I'm white, running for governor, may have saved my life. Because you got a lot of sick people out there. And the police, look, I'm in comedy. 9 out of 10 comics suck. All right, everyone got into comedy in the 80s. It's like I said, every time a steel mill closes, there's 5,000 new comedians. Everyone got into that business. So if 10% of the police force is bad, that's 3,600 maniacs out there. All right? I just met with a guy over here around the corner by the name of Vasquez. We were talking. He said, I can't believe they're arresting people for smoking pot. This guy Vasquez, he's a transit cop in blue. And you know, most of them are good guys. They just want to grind out the living. That's it. But then you have a lot of assholes who are on a power trip. And so they make the whole barrel look bad. All right? And then you have the Reverend Sharpton. Somehow, whenever there's a killing in New York City, the Reverend Sharpton is on the scene, along with a fella by the name of, Hi, I'm Sanford Rubenstein. You may have seen me on television in some high-profile cases where I won a lot of money with the help of Al Sharpton. And I'll bring my lawyer. I'm sorry about the death of your son. And it's a horrible thing. But we can't bring him back. But I can't help the rest of your kids go through college and build a club and go on vacation. All you gotta do is sign with Mr. Sanford Rubenstein over here. I'll do the flacking. Thank you very much. You just sign here and I'll be the guy. And I'll make the money. And I'll speak to the mayor. I'll keep the temperature down in the city with another unjustified murder of a black man as long as you pay early and at the high end. And that's what it's all about. They pay him early and at the high end. It keeps the temperature down in the city. The family can send their kids to college, and then Sharpton disappears. All right, like a fucking guy who sells siding. All right, he sells siding, and then Sharpton is the canvasser, and the other guy's the closer. If you know about siding out there, and you live in Queens, so you know about siding. Boy. This is my only paid gig this year in comedy. It's one glass of Chardonnay that de Blasio brought back. Actually, no, it's Riesling. There you go. That's amazing. So we're in the race next Tuesday. We're running against this guy, and then you have a fake out by the name of Teach Out who's running. And everyone's all gaga. If you saw Democracy Now! Yesterday, I basically gave her like a small jab and she hit the ground. She is from Vermont. Mother is a lawyer, judge, and she is the new Obama. She wants you guys to think that she is some progressive that's come here. She will not say that she's going to endorse Cuomo after the election on Tuesday. I have said I will support Howie Hawkins. After I lose on Tuesday, I will support Howie Hawkins. And I got to know her real well. She's a complete lunatic. I wish everybody could look at her one-on-one yesterday on Democracy Now! And see what a megalomaniacal, as Jerry Nadler says, she's got that electionitis thing going right now. She actually thinks she can win, and she doesn't know the issues. She had to ask me, what's the New York, is it the Yankees or the Mets in this city, and where is the Tappan Zee Bridge, and how do you get to the Erie Canal, and who was Frederick Law Olmsted? These are the questions that she asks. All right, or Robert Moses. She knows nothing about this state. You know, if I were to go to Russia, and I know my Dostoevsky, I read War and Peace by Tolstoy, I've read everything Brothers Karamazov, The Devils, and everything that Possessed by Dostoevsky. And if I were to go there for 5 years, no way I'm going to run for president. Not, even if Putin was a cool, easy guy to run against, I would not run against, because I don't know the fucking country. She come from Vermont, here. From Vermont. all right? And she's got a car that she just paid for. Well, the taxes say that you live in Vermont. How could you say that you live, the taxes are, you said you lived in Vermont 2 years ago. There's all sorts of little things like this. And you just can't come here and homestead in this state. You better know how to get to Bayview Terrace. You better know how to get to Astoria. You better know where Greeks live in Astoria, Italians live in Little Italy, where Battery Park starts, how it was built, Canal Street, does she think she's ever read Lou Sant? Low Life, Cyril Sante, whatever his name is, there's so much to know about this state. You really have to know it. And, she's on a power trip right now. You got a bunch of liberals from the Upper West Side, white liberals, who really think that she's this, the second coming. She's Joan of Arc. She's not. She definitely is not. You have to take a look at the Democracy Now! Tape, and this is not even funny, from yesterday. I was on with her. Look at the difference between the two of us. Or, I've been in 3 debates with her. She refused to debate me tonight on Rolling. What's the name of the guy's show? On Friday at 4 o'clock on WBAI.
Changes so much.
Well, anyway, I was on today for 1 hour. She refused to debate me. So she pulled a Cuomo on me. My God, once I got into this race, I lost the crowd, man. I'm supposed to be funny over here. It doesn't really matter. Look, I'm 60 years old now. I've been doing this comedy stuff, impression, since 72, when I was doing Richard Nixon. That's just how old I am. Let me make myself perfectly clear. I was an impressionist, and this will be my last press conference on Tuesday. New York won, and the Times will not have Credico to not kick around anymore because they refuse to identify me as a candidate. All right. That was before Jimmy Carter, who was the president after Nixon. Actually, it was Ford there. Ford was there for a couple of weeks. It was actually Kissinger was running the show with the problems. We need to kill more people in South America. I think what's happening in Argentina is a good thing. And then it was Jimmy Carter actually did a couple of nice things, like one legalized marijuana and gave me an amnesty for Dawson's Draft. And then there was the nightmare era of Ronald Reagan, which started, well, back then. And I would say that, I did well doing Reagan. It was good for me. Then it was George Bush Sr. We're going to go out there and we're not at war with the people of Iraq. We're at war with the Iraqi people. There's a big difference there. And we got to go in before they come out because we'll lose our pretext. And then there was Bill Clinton, 8 years of solid right-wing business, whether it be repealing the Glass-Steagall Act. He did that with Chuck Schumer. And that's led to all of his friends are making money. He made a lot of money doing that. Bill Clinton, like everyone thinks because he's a slick motherfucker, that he is so hip. And because he played the saxophone. But I'll tell you something. He did 3 strikes and you're out. He killed a guy that was on death row who was missing his brain. Well, yes. But when he committed the crime, he still had his brain. That's what he said. This is how slick and glib he is. When he committed the crime, he had his brain. He may have lost his brain afterwards. He may have been brain dead when I killed him. And my wife told me to go down there and have him executed. Not to let the lieutenant governor give him clemency. That's why I went back. My wife encouraged me. And he went back there and had this guy, guess how sick this son of a bitch is, Bill Clinton. And that Zephyr leaks out, she's like me. She likes me. And I like her because she likes me because she's a mainstream Democrat. So you had that. Then you had George Bush. It was great to have. Americans, right now we're fighting, we're going in. I've given Saddam Hussein 1 hour, get out of town. Giving him 1 hour. You ever seen High Noon? I'm giving him 1 hour. I'm white fucking Earth. Get the fuck out of town. And we're going to start dropping bombs. Actually, stay in town because we need to demonstrate. We got to get rid of some of these weapons that are. It's like we haven't had sex in a while. We're loaded with stuff. We got to unload it, and we're going to unload it with the civil population. And we got a great excuse for fighting against cicadas.
All right, Randy.
Anyway, I think I got that on time. I want to say it's been great to be here. I want to do Rudy Giuliani for this guy. And of course, Michael Bloomberg, who once said in Spanish, "It's muy alegro, estoy acá a luchar para negros en cárceles de frisco." Anyway, next week, next Tuesday, please tell your friends to vote for me on September 9th.
Vote for Randy Credico, please.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you all for coming. Labor Party, it sure was. And vote for Randy next week.